Episode of Fix My Mix Live. This is a show where we listen to unfinished mixes from the community, and we give our advice about what could be done with these mixes to get them ready for release. It's such a valuable or such an important stage of mixing, that final stage where you just got to do those little tweaks. And often you've been listening to your own production too closely and you've lost judgment. So I think it's really useful to have somebody else have a listen to your mix before you go ahead and release it. Now, your mum is not always the best judge. Even if your mum is an audio engineer or a producer of some kind, she's probably a little bit biased, as would be your partner, etc. So it's useful to have someone who's going to give you some honest feedback and have a little bit of a sort of an educated ear. So hopefully if your mix is on the show tonight, that's what you're going to get. And if you're just in the live chat playing along here and having a listen as well, maybe we can all sort of learn something together. Hopefully that's going to be the case. I just want to say a quick thank you to my sponsor here, DistroKid. If you have not released any music yet and you think it's kind of complicated to release music to the world these days with all these different streaming services, you are going to be pleasantly surprised, because DistroKid makes it very, very easy and very, very cheap indeed. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But first of all, I just want to say hi to some of the people who are already here in the chat. I cannot continue with the show without saying hello to Mimo Japan, who is of course there moderating, as well as Doug. I think he is not saying hi yet, but Doug is also, there he is. Doug is also there in the chat, and he is also a moderator. He's going to keep you all honest. Also, we have, who have we got here? We have DJ Normal Norman. What a great username there. And we also have Nick Walters, and Nick is from Kagoshima in Japan. Awesome, Nick. Nice to see you here. I have not been to Kagoshima, although I've been to quite a few different places in Japan. I love that country. And also, we have a bit of a regular, Danny Gable. Nice to see you in here, Danny, and a few other people. We've got one more here I'm just going to say hi to. And this, because I don't think we have too many people from Tunisia. So I hope I can get your name correct. It is Ahmed Sebri. I am not an expert at saying this. I really can't continue without saying hi to Jade Starr. Jade, lovely to see you here as well. I'm going to press on with the show. As it happens, the people in the live chat are going to play a really significant role tonight. They always do anyway, and their opinions often are, right on the money and are very valuable. But the reason the people in the live chat are going to be super important today is because, unusually, I don't have any guests with me. It's just me today giving my evaluation of these mixes. Now, I have a good reason for that, but just in case there's any rumours that spreading that there has not been any big fallout or anything like that. Well, not yet anyway. But no, the reason is, and I'm going to defend it with this, it has been an absolutely insanely crazy last few days. Those of you who have been watching my social media a little bit in the last few days will have seen this. I'm just going to play you a very short video clip. This would have come up for you here and there, just here and there. I spy with my little eye something beginning with G. Yes, that's the 21st of February. The big one's happening. That's on Monday. Now, I have been organising for this event, I shall call it. Now, just as a little bit of background, some YouTubers, they film their episodes in advance, right? So they may, if they do a video a week, they'll record a month in advance. Or I never do, or hardly ever do that. So my videos just take too long, and I could never sort of batch do them, really. So it's very unusual that in the last 4 days or so, I've actually recorded 8 episodes for Creative Source, as well as the episode that I released yesterday about the Piano Tech plugin. So what's that? 8-9 videos all in all I've recorded. And 8 of those are in preparation for this event, which is coming up on Monday. That's got you all thinking, isn't it? Why would he have to record 8 videos for this event? Well, I'm not going to tell you, not till Monday at least. Anyway, so yeah, I've been so busy, that busy, that I just didn't even get the headspace or the time to kind of schedule in my guests. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But I have scheduled my guest for next week, I will tell you, and he's an absolute gentleman. I love his work, and he's Chris from Mixdown Online. Look up that channel, do a little search on YouTube there. He is a Cubase guy, but he just does some great general mixing tutorials as well. So he will be on the show next week, so I look forward to having him. He's only been on once before, so he's a great dude though, and I look forward to that. Now, if you have not entered your song for this show at all, or entered, it's a funny word, it's not a competition, but submitted your song for this show, you can do so. It's an ongoing thing. There are some instructions in the description down below, but essentially you've just got to send me an email and attach the song. You can tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the song if you like, but we're trying to keep it about the music, not so much about the backstories where we can help you, okay? So with all of that said, we are going to move on with our first song. I've got to tell you that the songs in tonight's episode are all very, very different. The only thing they have in common is I think they're all kind of there. They're almost there. None of them seem to be right at the beginning stage, in my opinion. Now, I haven't given them an extensive listen. I've listened to maybe the first 10 or 20 seconds of them. So this is going to be my kind of fresh response to them. And of course, for everybody in the chat, as I say, you're going to be hearing these for the first time. I really want to see that chat go alive with suggestions for the artist about how you think they could improve their mix. So I'm going to tell you the first song I have up here was submitted by a gentleman called Jason Brakefield. Okay, now he's not the artist of this song. This song was engineered, produced, recorded, and mixed in his basement studio. Okay, so the song is by a band called Pedestrians. I love the spelling there. That's a nice name for a band. And the song is called Not Ever Never. So let's have a listen to this. As I say, let us know in the chat what you think.
Like your mother. I want to go home and play your records, 'cause not today, not ever, never.
Yes. Yes, I did it. I managed to waffle on for ages with that muted mic, didn't I? Thank you, guys. Shows how much I'm paying attention to the chat, doesn't it? I'm going to have to say all of that again. Let me summarise. Oh, dear me. Being on the show alive, so much fun. Okay, let's summarise. First of all, I said, I think it's a great mix. Wonderful stuff. Secondly, I said I agree with Jade because I know about time, so I know. Secondly, I did agree with Jade. I thought the bass sounded kind of nice, but it needed to sound just a little bit edgier. And I was lastly saying before I noticed, oh God. Before I noticed, thank you folks in the chat, that I was muted. This is good timing to send this in because a couple of things I want to say about this. Look, you could release this song right away, couldn't you? And it would be fine. Let's face it. It's pretty much almost there. A little bit of mastering to get it a little bit more energy, but it's almost there. And that would be fine. But there's a couple of things that I think you may hear later. Now, one of the things that I notice, and this is just me really sort of splitting hairs here a little bit, is the vocals. So the vocals, what a great performance on the vocals. Love the kind of very stylized sound, that almost, radio effect and all that kind of thing. That was great. But what I did notice, and we talk about this all the time, is that the vocals were kind of the same all the way through. I thought they could have done with a bit of widening and lifting in the chorus, because it kind of made it feel like the chorus wasn't that obvious, that there was a chorus there, okay? So definitely I would suggest there, get the singer in again and double up on some of those vocals. Now, whether you're going to do that excessively or not just depends on taste, but I do think that either a doubled vocal, so in case folks who are new to this don't know, it's very simple. You just record the vocal again. It's no good duplicating the vocal in your DAW. Don't do that. You just record it again, okay? And normally I like to have one vocal right down the middle and then have one pad to the left, one pad to the right. Maybe not all the way to the left and right, but reasonably extreme. You can do more than that. You can do, two in each side, okay? That's going to help, I think, to not just lift the chorus, but separate the chorus from the rest of the song would be my suggestion there. Now, the drums were getting a bit of praise there in the chat, which I agree with. The only thing I think is, in my opinion, that here and there I was missing the cymbals. Now, there's lots of places where I wasn't missing the cymbals, meaning that there was some areas in this song where there was some very, very splashy cymbals. I think it may have been the chorus. I'm not sure. That was fine, but there just needed to be some accents here and there, perhaps at the beginning of, certain bars or what have you, it just gives it a lift. If you don't believe me on this, check out one of your recent songs, regardless of whether you're using virtual drums or real drums, and just get rid of the cymbals. The life will be sucked out of certain parts of the songs, or certainly the parts where you just want an oomph, a little bit of an accent. So I felt that here and there the cymbals could have come up, but overall the drums sounded great, lively. A couple of things I love, because I think it's important for all of us to learn, not just by focusing on the things that could improve, but also the things that were great. And I love some of the arrangement here. There was a break in there where it came down and the bass sounded absolutely gorgeous in there. And then the electric guitar came in, and from memory, I think it came in a little bit on the left-hand side. It was a little bit panned. I love that. It was just creative. It was just a little bit of spice for the ears, something to wake you up if you're a listener, something not quite expected, especially on headphones. Panning is a little bit exaggerated on headphones in that way. So really, really enjoy that. Overall, as I was saying when I was muted earlier, overall, I think this is like 95% there. Couple of little tweaks, especially though, I'm going to say, the vocals there. That would be nice. So, moving on, I think it's a good time for me to take a little break while I let my pre-recorded video tell you about what a great deal it is when you sign up for my sponsor, DistroKid. If you do follow the link in the description down below, it's going to take you to a special page on DistroKid with this yellow banner at the top. That banner is letting you know that you're going to get a further 7% discount off your first year if you sign up here. And let's face it, it's already very cheap. If we scroll down, we can see that a year's membership is $19.99 per year for an unlimited number of albums and songs. And so long as it's your own music, there are no extra charges, and you get to keep all of the royalties from the various platforms. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Pandora, Amazon, Instagram, Tidal, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and more. Okay, yeah, so just follow that link in on the top corner here, DistroKid, the VIP link. I do get a little kickback from that, but you pay nothing extra for that. So follow that link. If you haven't released any music yet, get your music out to the world. It's really, really important to get it out there. Now, the next song that I am going to play, I know kind of for a fact from experience that there's going to be one thing about it which is very, very controversial to some of you in the live chat or on the replay. Now, by the way, I just want to say, oh yes, you're quite right. Sorry, people are saying to me there's no link in the corner, and yeah, they're absolutely right. Let me just try and fix that quickly. Here we go. There we go. I don't know. It should be there. It's not there now. It's showing for me. It's not showing on YouTube. I can see that now. Oh, well, we'll soldier on. Follow the link in the description. Yeah, the DistroKid banner is muted as well. Let's move on with the show. So I think that this next song definitely will have something controversial in it. I think I've got my banner back now by the looks of it over there on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube gods. It's got an effect on the vocal, which I know upsets some people, okay? I'm sure you can guess which effect it is. Well, I'm just going to ask you in the live chat, I don't want to tell you what to say. You can say whatever you like within reason. But can we get past that, is what I'm going to ask you. I'd like to focus on the rest of the mix. I will have something to say about this particular effect, which is on the vocal, which is going to be very, very obvious to you, but I would also like you to kind of, if you either have, if you think you've got a prejudice against this thing, that's fine, but can you listen past that for me as well and listen to some of the other parts of the music, because I think that would be useful. I don't know much about the artist. I'm not even sure I've got the correct name for the artist, to be honest with you. I'm just going by whatever the name was in their email. And that would be Flow Cab Free Mind. And the song is called Your Downfall. That's everything I know about it. So I hope everything's in order. You all heard that? Yes, good. Got my banner. Let's just hope the song plays okay. Let's have a listen to this.
Hey, but Pop, this one crazy, bro. I thought that you should know that I pretend to be okay so that our lives don't get harder. Oh, down this road we go. spend like every day laid down in bed, yeah, with my head in the pillow. But now that I may be the only one, yeah, holding up, yeah, now you see that I'm refilling my cup. Got the gin and juice, and I'm hanging loose. I won't be here for your downfall. What's your excuse in this life? Is you see that I might have to just leave as I fly through the night to live my dreams. And now that I can strike, yeah, like lightning. But now that you wanna fight non-stop, every day and every night at the top of our lungs that we would spend, now you flop. I won't be the one to watch you leave, you to watch your downfall. I finally see. Easy on me, lay me down slow. Please, I can't be here for your downfall. I can't stay out here in love with an outlaw. I'm up all night sipping out of the bottle. Now I'm thinking back and I wish I had thought of an all-out love fallout. And all-out love fallout. I'm all done. The way you put the pressure on. No, I can't make it out alone. Too many situations you put me in that I always handle wrong. And baby, I don't need too long, but I'm running out of time. So keep me out of harm's way.
Okay, so thank you so much to Flowcab Free Mind for sending that in for us to have a listen to. I'm glad to say, actually, I'm pretty happy to say that although I'm sure that many of you have mixed emotions about auto-tune, there was some pretty constructive kind of comments in there about it. My favourite one, though, I'm just checking I'm not muted. My favourite one has to be this. I popped it up on the screen. A metal distortion doesn't work on a folk mandolin, but it's great in the right context. The same with auto-tune. It can be used creatively. And that's exactly where I fall on that. I actually personally have never, this is not me both, I've never used auto-tune, really never used it. I do use Melodyne quite a lot, which is quite a different beast and a different thing. I want to address this in a way which doesn't apply just to auto-tune, but it can apply to all kinds of different effects or things that we use in production. Because my advice on this song is going to be dependent on what your intention was. Now, thankfully, I'm fairly exposed to this kind of music, even though I don't listen to it a lot, because I have teenagers. And so what I know is in this type of music, auto-tune is used fairly aggressively as an effect quite often. It's kind of a way of stylizing the vocal. In the same way as, say, with a 50s electric guitar, you may, throw on a whole bunch of slap reverb or spring reverb or something, and it doesn't sound realistic, does it? It doesn't sound like a real room. It's a very stylized thing. Okay, so similar thing to that. So if you intended it to be stylized, did your job, fine. If you were using it to correct your pitch and you didn't want anyone to notice it, you failed. But I want to address that because this is where the old bloke in me is going to come out. I'd love to hear this track without the auto-tune, is what I like to say. And the reason I say that is because I could hear in there that maybe you've got a pretty good voice, okay? There was some really good expression in there. There was, a nice performance in there. Now, if you just need it to be stylized for that genre, fine, don't listen to me. But if you do get to hear this commentary, I'd love to hear another mix without the auto-tune. Now, I said we wouldn't focus on it, so let's move past the auto-tune. Apart from that, I thought the vocal could come up a little bit. Someone mentioned it needs a little de-essing. I think that's a little bit quite true, because there's a little bit of harshness there in some of the sibilants. So definitely that would be the case. Again, I want to look at some interesting positives here that perhaps we can all learn from. And this was a really interesting track in terms of the extremes of the sonic properties in it, because the piano, which was the dominant instrument, was very, like, all the top end right down to the top mids was all cut out of it. So it had that kind of muffled sound, okay, which was really suitable. But it was contrasted by some nice finger clicks and some other really high-end stuff. That all left like loads of space for the vocal in the middle, which was great. So there was lots of separation in there, really, really nice in that way. But it's not always right to do that for every track, but I thought that was a really interesting way of producing a track, and pretty good. All in all, it's nice to have a different style of music on this show. We don't get too much of this style of music on the show. We don't get much submitted, I should say. So if you do produce this kind of music, then please do go ahead and submit it for the show, where me and the people in my audience are quite happy to have a listen to it. And I think my chatters have proved me wrong. I thought there might be a little bit more grief. But great. Oh, just one thing, because I'm just looking at my notes here. Yes, I made notes. There were some strings which came in maybe 3/4 of the way through, something like that. That was nice. That just added a different dynamic. They just weren't loud enough. And I suspect some people are in the chat now going, strings? What strings? I didn't hear those, because they were only just there. But yeah, I'd like to see those come up a little bit. But that was about it. In terms of what people had to say there in the chat, let's have a look here. I'd like to hear a stronger rhythm track. Somehow the lack of drums takes away from the end. That's an interesting idea there, Nick. I'm not sure I agree with you, but I could be wrong. It would be worth experimenting with for sure. And what have we got here from Kiana? Nice to see you, Kiana, by the way. Saying that that would be a little bit more contrast variety, which would be great. I don't know which comment from Nick you're referring to, but I'm sure it was incredibly intelligent, wasn't it, Nick? By the way, thanks to Nick for letting me use your piano track in my video I released yesterday. What was that video? Piano Tech, yeah. A fantastic piano plugin. My goodness, I've really enjoyed using that very, very much. Let's hear a little bit more from my sponsor, now that I have my banner here especially to point to, about how easy it is to get your tracks up onto DistroKid. If you want to release your music via DistroKid, there's just a couple of things you need. First of all, the music itself. Here's mine in my DAW Cakewalk, and I'm exporting it to an uncompressed WAV file for best results. Now, the other thing you'll need is some artwork. I just grabbed an old photo which I'd taken on the beach, chucked on some text here, and that's what I call art. Then I went over to DistroKid, and I just have to fill in this extra easy form. It's a no-brainer form. You get helped all the way through with little hints and things. You can't really do anything wrong. You just go ahead and confirm a few things about your music, and then you just have to actually upload the artwork and the song itself, and DistroKid takes care of the rest. It's going to send it out to all of the best platforms so that people can hear and buy your music. Nice to see more and more people in the chat today. Don't forget, if you are in the chat, it helps out if you click that like button for me. Gets people, gets YouTube to tell more people about the show. Nice to see Ricky T. Brown here in the chat. He's one of the regulars on the show. And as he says, more of this kind of music's a nice change. I agree with you. Nice to see we've a regular on YouTube here, 715 Music. Sorry, 715. Oh, you're Tula. Oh, Tula. Nice to see you here. And also, of course, who else have we got here? We've got Ian from Sao Paulo. Nice to see you in here, Ian. people from all over the world listening to all different kinds of music. Now, let me remind you before we go on to our last song that I am going to be releasing an important video on Monday, the 21st. That is an important announcement which I have been alluding to in my social media. It's something that I've been working on for a while. I'm happy that it's finally coming. And let me just say, it happens to be coinciding with me almost reaching 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And without jinxing myself, I suspect that will happen in the next 2 or 3 days. And I just want to say a huge, massive thank you to YouTube. No, to everybody who's subscribed, of course. And I know that all of you there in the live chat will have already subscribed. I'm sure of that. But joking aside, wow, you guys are fantastic. Doing this has changed my life, and 99% positively, I have to tell you. So somebody's asking there in the chat, how do you send your music project? There are some instructions down in the description of this video, but pretty much it's just you just email the song to me. Make sure the email title is Fix My Mix. That means I can find them easily amongst all of the other hundreds of emails. Now, let's move on to this last song. As I say, something different again here. Very, very different. This is a submission from, let me just make sure I've got it queued up and ready to go, by the way. It's very hard to be on this show without my guests. They're useful. I'm going to tell you just a little up front, I'm a little bit biased towards the subject matter of this song because it's a song that is written on the subject of soldiers at war. This is a subject that's always fascinated me, even though I don't find war fascinating in the sense of, well, you know, I just wish it wouldn't happen. Let's put it that way. But I guess I'm a pacifist at heart, but I have an enormous amount of respect for people who find themselves in the firing line. And go and do, how can I say? I'm going to say this in the right way. Who go ahead and fight for their country, and the sacrifice they made. I appreciate that. That's just where I stand on it. But I find the individual story, the human story of the soldiers, just a fascinating subject. So whenever I come across a song which has this kind of subject matter, then I'm always a little bit drawn to it. So this is a really interesting storytelling song in that way. It comes from, let me just pull the name up here. I've got the easy to pronounce names this week. This is from Andrew Smith, and it's called Home Fires Burning. I'm just going to read out what Andrew said in the email. He said, I've been writing for most of my life now, but the recording and mixing side has been more recent, so would welcome some feedback. Regarding this song, it was inspired by a book by Sebastian Faulks called Birdsong, and in particular about missing loved ones at home. But there's also some family connections, as both my dad and granddad were in the Second World War. I write all of my stuff on acoustic, so trying to get all the other sounds I hear in my head into Cakewalk, which he's been using for about 25 years, is a challenge. But everything on here has been made by myself in one form or another. So let's have a listen to this song, as I say. It's called Home Fires Burning, from Andrew Smith.
Tom, are you listening to me? How your letters set me free and spur me on. Ma, many thanks for your advice. The cake was very nice, please send some tea. As we march into this town, dark shadows in the window, your photo in my pocket next to me, and my boots upon cold stone, so alone. Please keep the home fires burning for me. war, it must be won, and we are fighting for our children to be free. And for all the folks back home, home sweet home, please keep the home fires burning for me. Sam, help your mother while you can. One day you'll be a man so young and free. Tom, lost out here we are the few. My heart cries out for you, don't follow me. As we lay upon the ground, with birdsong all around, hear whispering of children in the breeze. And all the guns are silent now. Remember how to keep the home fires burning for me.
Okay, so there's a bit to dig into here. Now, because I haven't got my other guests here, and I definitely have to play the role of good cop, bad cop. With this one, I've got a couple of things to say, which is a little bit more difficult for someone to hear. And some of it's reflected in the comments from others. But overall, a good song. I like this song. I like the vocals. I like the storytelling aspect of it. A little bit like the last song, the advice that I would give kind of depends on the intention, okay? So if you want this to be purely a storytelling song and you want that message to come across, then I think that you don't want to do things that detract from that in any way. So I'm going to start off with the most negative comment I've got to make about this. I thought that the guitar solo at the end had a couple of issues. This is not mixing. I didn't really have a big issue with the mixing. First of all, Andrew, sorry to say this, it felt like noodling to me. It felt like a bit of a jam, and rather than a constructed or composed, I should say, guitar solo. Nothing wrong with that. Sounded great and all that. But I just didn't think it needed to be there. I think it sort of detracted from the song in a way. That's just my personal opinion. I know it sounds a little harsh, but I could have either done with a very, very like strong, almost melodic, singable guitar solo, or nothing at all. Okay, that's just my opinion on that. Apart from that, there's nothing wrong with your playing or anything like that. That was all fine. But I would think about taking it out, personally. The drums were overall pretty good. I thought that they could have done with just a little bit of variation here and there. they sounded just a little sort of ploddy at times, okay? And I'm not talking about a huge amount of variation, but just a little bit of variation here and there. Perhaps perhaps I don't know, for some reason for me, I'm not a drummer obviously, but the snare, I just felt just a little bit of, whether it's flams or just a little extra incidental hits in there, which were not always in the same place every time. I just think it could have given my ears a little bit more excitement. Overall, there was not too much that stuck out too bad for me in the mix. The vocal was, I was saying, is anyone else hearing Pink Floyd? Some people agree with me. I think it was the vocal. I think it was the production of the vocal. The doubles of the vocal, which were in the right place, and we were talking about this earlier, were kind of very, very obvious. So if you wanted it to be that style, in that kind of Floyd vocal style, then fine. I mean, it sounded great to me. But if you were just hoping that you would sort of boost the vocals a bit without that being obvious, then I think those doubles would be a little bit too loud. So it just depends on your intention there and, what you're hoping to get in terms of the feel of the song. There's no right or wrong, I don't think there. There was one sound that bothered me a little bit. There was a brass sound. Sounded very synthy brass. That was fine, but you had it panned really, really hard. For me, it was coming from my right ear. Okay, and that's nothing wrong with that, but it was always just distracting. Again, for me, I noticed it too much, and it just took my attention away from the vocal, the lyric, the story of the song. So, this is all a bit negative, isn't it? I want to say here, just because I know Jade would say this if she was on the show, that overall the song's great. Good work. This is not terrible whatsoever. The mix is pretty close to there. It's going to be a matter of opinion. But so I just want to put that in there before I say my last negative. Just the final bit, the tempo change right at the end of the song. Didn't sound natural whatsoever. It's as if, with the tempo change in your door, you just went from one tempo straight down to the other, right? A straight line. And that does not often sound very natural. I know Mimo Japan will often be doing these sorts of things. I think I've probably guessed right there. And, what more often happens, I don't know the name of the curve, but it's where the curve starts off sort of fairly gradual and then gets more aggressive right to the end. More often that's how musicians actually slow down more naturally, and when they do that kind of slow down thing. Can I just play that for you? I've never done this before. Let's just put the song up again, and I'll just move right to the end. Just have a listen to this little outro here. And of course, that last little cymbal there right on the end was just needed to not be dampened as it was. That's in my opinion anyway. But thanks, Andrew. I really like the song. I think you did the story justice. These are more creative ideas that I'm talking about, far more than the mix. Perhaps that will give you some food for thought. I'll get it out there. But yeah, overall, thank you so much for submitting the song. I enjoyed it, as I'm sure everyone did here today. And that is amazingly the last song of the show. It's remarkable for a show to be under an hour for Fix My Mix. There were large sections of it where you couldn't hear me, of course, which may have been a delight to you. But it goes to show you, doesn't it? It goes to show you how much my guests normally talk. About 20 minutes my guests talk, just so you know. I rib them. Everyone knows I talk way more than everyone else. But I've really enjoyed it, actually. I am so excited to be announcing to you on Monday what's going to be happening on the channel in the near future. I'm trying to be very careful here so that I don't give away. I'm not very good at keeping secrets normally. I'm rubbish at it. But, probably I read some marketing thing somewhere that said, oh, you've got to do a build-up. So I'm trying to do it. But yeah, I think that you're all going to be interested in this and all have a kind of a stake in it, if you like. I really can't say any more, but do just look out for the channel on Monday and I will reveal all then. Don't forget, if you're a Cakewalk user, to check the link in the description down below. I'd love to see you in my Facebook Cakewalk group. We've been that in itself is just getting close to 4,000 members in there. That's only, when did I start that? I think I started it maybe September, something like that. So that's grown really quickly. And it's not the number of members that pleases me so much as the amount of help that people get in there. I did a post in there, probably about 30 minutes before the show, where I wanted people who have got silly questions to ask, newbie questions to ask. I'm inviting them to ask those silly questions there without any fear of being mocked or made fun of. That's highly important to me because it's hard enough to be learning a new skill, isn't it? Without people in the community who know that skill being obstacles to your progress rather than helping you move on. We all had to start somewhere. We all had to start from zero. I know I did, and I still start from zero with many aspects of my life. And thankfully, there's people around to give good advice, like unmute your microphone, for example. Oh dear, I'm probably never going to live that down. Thank you so much for everyone who's been here in the live chat. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am going to take a couple of days off now for fishing and re-energize myself for that big thing with a capital G. Hang on. Doesn't make sense, does it? I'm just rubbish tonight. Yeah, that big thing that's happening next week. I look forward to seeing you all in the live chat. There's a little clue for that. Take care of yourself. Be good to each other. And I will see you in the next video.